We play and call it work.
All right, guys. Welcome to the bunker vlog, vlog number 1. This is old MiniWarGaming. Take a look at the sign up there. Okay. This is where we currently have our business, and we're going to take a little trip and go to the new location, which is approximately 4 minutes away. And we're going to show you the exterior and the interior before all of the work is being done on it. So pre-construction, that's what we're going to do. As you can see, this is what we got here. It says Well and Flower Shop. That is what it used to be. That's what it was for decades. That's not what it is anymore, obviously. It is going to be the MiniWarGaming bunker. And what you're looking at right now is the front. It actually kind of looks kind of small. That's the truth. You look at it, it's not as big looking as it is on the inside. And you'll see in just a minute exactly what I'm saying. Because everyone that I show this to, they say the exact same thing. They say, wow, it's a lot bigger than it looks on the outside. So let's take a look at what it looks like from the inside. So we got the keys. It is our building. Let's take a look. Turning on the lights here. This is the storefront. This is where the gaming store will be. This is what you first see from the road. This is not something that we will run. This is something that we are leasing to a friend of ours, and he will run the gaming store. But everything that you see with an orange X, whether it's on the wall or on the cabinet, on the shelf or the counter, that means it's going to be taken down or taken out. So this is taken out. It's on the wall itself. That means the wall is coming down and it's going to be extended. So behind here is a hallway. So we're going to gain that much more floor space, which means that much more square footage, which means more gaming tables and more room for product and more fun. Because the thing with the store is that after hours, after we're filming from 9 to 5, the store is going to be open. So it's going to be available for guests to come and to hang out after hours afterwards. So they can game and battle against people if they want, or they can just paint their minis or whatever. They have a place to go afterwards, which is fantastic, because currently that's not the case. Currently people come and our hours are 9 to 5, and it's hit or miss whether or not some of the employees want to stay behind afterwards and hang out. Sometimes they got to go and sometimes there's nothing to do. So then guests that come to MiniWarGaming, they're just kind of roaming around Niagara afterwards, which isn't the worst thing, but this is a much better situation. So let's take a look at some space here. So this countertop right here, which has a nice orange X on it, it's going to come out. It's going to go in the front because that's a much better efficient use of the space, which opens up this area here to, like I said before, gaming tables and shelves and product and everything else. It's not right in the middle of the floor space. That doesn't make any sense. If you wanted to have a tournament here or something, it'd be a little bit harder with this right in the middle. But if this is up front, right here, then it's a good place for someone to be when they greet people that come in from off the street. It also makes it so they can keep an eye on the store as people are in the store as opposed to being at the very back. It's just a better spot for it. Over here, this is going to be converted into a bathroom. So there's going to be a handicap washroom as per code. That's what needs to happen right here. And then there's going to be a storage closet right here, right beside that. Let's go into the hallway. So down here, it's a little bit darker, but you can see the X's on the walls, or you might be able to see it on the video. So this is coming down, which means that this is all the extra floor space in the store. Now where I'm standing right now, an elevator is going to go, not because we want one, but because of code. As per code, because we're doing the renovations on it and we're the most recent owners of the building, we have to put an elevator in order to accommodate people that will be staying in the bunker and people that will access this downstairs area. So elevator, which is actually kind of cool if you think about it, when you're visiting MiniWarGaming and you have your luggage and you have your bags of minis, trucking them up the stairs is certainly possible, but it's much easier if you're doing that in an elevator. So let's go this way. Let's show you the offices. All right. So this is the employee lounge area. These right here, these two offices, this is going to be my office, and this is going to be Matt's office. So we have our offices right here, right outside of the employee lounge. So this is going to be the Shrine of Chaos. It'll be decked out to make it look like it's an anti-towel room and a pure chaos room, which is going to be similar to the current Shrine of Chaos. And the live shows will be here. And the thing that I like about it is that it's going to be really close to Matt and everyone else, because currently it's not. Currently it's kind of right in the middle of MiniWarGaming. It's not in the back where everyone is, and there's discussions. So if I want to be part of discussions, I gotta get up and do that. So that's the trade-off right now. I wanted to right beside my studio. So now it's all the offices are together and all the studios are together. Right in here, this is Matt's office. Matt has the window because he has plants. He does in his office. So should he choose to bring plants here and them not die, he can put plants in the window. It's also because I'll be doing more filming in my office than he will be in his. So I care more about controlling the lighting in my office, so I chose the one without a window. Makes sense. And there's some yelling in the street right now. There actually is. Did you hear that? Yeah. All right, so coming out this way. This wall's coming down, hence the holes. They didn't come like that. We kicked them in there just for fun. And so this, if you can picture this is going to be one big L-shaped open area. So this is all part of the one room that will be that room as well when you walk in. And so this is where Steve and Quirk and Luca and Josh, they'll be in here, and they're going to have their workstations with airbrush booth and couches to hang out and mini fridges and just like a true lounge work area. And yes, with the couches and chairs and comfy chairs, because should somebody get tired and need a nap, you need a place to go. Because the idea of the workspace is that it's very Google-esque, where it's a creative environment, so we want to foster that as much as possible. As long as work is still getting done, because that's ultimately the most important thing. Now right here, there's a D on the wall. That just means that a door is going to go right here somewhere. Not where the electrical outlet is, but to the side of it probably. And it's going to go into the next room, which I'll show you right now. Let's just come follow me. Let's go this way. So hallway. These things will be coming down. Actually, along here, along this wall, it's all going to be redone. It's going to feel like the doors at current MiniWarGaming. They're painted charcoal gray with riveted strips on the doors and around the frame to make it look like it's inside a fortress, something like that. That's what this hallway is going to look like. So it's going to be painted in the same color scheme. Around the doors, it'll look the same way, and signage on the doors will be similar. And the lighting will be new. Everything's going to be drop ceiling. Down here, what I was saying before, let me just remember. My brain's kind of scatterbrained right now because I'm really excited. So all the posters for our shows that we do for the narrative campaigns and the movie and battle reports, all of that. There's going to be posters with like when you go to the movies and how they're like framed and encased in glass. That's what I picture here, all the way down here, kind of like throughout the ages, right? In the 10 years that we've been in business, we'll have some retro ones and we'll have the newer ones, and we can always change them out too. And then right behind here, this whole wall, what I'm thinking this could be, and close to the employee lounge area, a very fitting place, is a whole map of the world where you can put a pin where you're from, because when you come to visit us and you battle us in battle reports, you are a guest from a certain location, and you can pin where you're from, and then you can have a picture here with a little bio that maybe says what battle reports you participated in and so forth, right? So I think that'd be cool. After a while, you have this big community guest board that can be added to. Because we've had a suggestion for that many years. People said, hey, that'd be cool if there was something like that. So I think this would be a perfect spot for it, right outside of the employee lounge. We got bathroom number 1. It's all going to be gutted and renovated. The floor has already been taken out because there was asbestos in the floor, because the building was built in 1900, literally over 100 years old. So it's just going to be a single toilet, single sink, and painted nice and clean and neat. Bathroom number 2. And in here, this is where that door was going to be cut out, right here. So this is going to enter into the video editing office, because this needs to be closed and lockable because of editing video purposes for videos that we don't want to show anyone yet before they're released. That makes sense, right? It needs to be a closed off private area. And then a wall's going up right here where I'm standing with another door. And then this will be shipping and receiving for packages and product and so forth. And then over here, here's another room which will be split in half. So another wall is going up right down the middle with another door. And in here, this area of the room, or this part, will be Chris's studio, where he does his painting tips, his quick tips, and way of the brush. That'll all be done from here, from this area. And he'll have his own sink and airbrush booth right here in his own studio, so he doesn't have to walk halfway down the building to clean out his brushes, which is the current situation. You get a massive fan up there. Actually, just for fun, here, let me do this. I think that'll serve as good exhaust for airbrush booth. It's probably a little bit overkill, but it's probably a lot of overkill. We're probably going to take it out. Or maybe not. It's actually kind of cool. This area will be offices for Josh. He's our guest coordinator and tournament manager. And then there's also Mike. He does our video advertising. He's our video advertising manager. So they will work in here. Nice, quiet, away from the loud commotion area to work. And then here, this is the grand tournament room. Picture like Vikings, Game of Thrones theme in here. So the walls will be made out of stone, and there's going to be embellishments that come out of the walls. Like some of the windows will have the keystone with the archways and the wooden shutters that come out, and torches, and the large circular candle-lit chandeliers that come from the ceiling. And everything is going to be themed in that style here in the grand tournament room. So this is where the events will be held, large events and campaigns that we hold. So if there's a Path to Glory or a Gorka Morka or anything like that, anything where you can come and be a part of and participate in and be part of a campaign or an event where you are also part of a video campaign, and we'll rotate you through a studio. This is the main area that it'll be held in, so that we can accommodate for 20, 30, 40 people, all part of one big campaign. Apocalypticon, any sort of apocalypse games or large tournaments like that, they could be held in here, as well as the store. The store, we will give them access to this room so that they could also participate and have events in this area. So this is going to be heavily used. We did the math on it. We did the math for spacing out tables and players. And if there was a doubles tournament with 4 people per table, there could be 60 people in here, all gaming at the same time. Now that is like absolute max capacity, which we will probably never do. So that's why I say like 20 to 30, maybe 40 people in here. Over here is the storage room. And the storage room itself is actually really big. And this will just store all the tables and chairs and everything that will go in the tournament room. Pretty high too. It's a little bit dark in here, but get the idea. And on the outside, it's going to be, the look and feel will be that of the fantasy Game of Thrones, Vikings era as well. It's kind of an Age of Sigmar fantasy feel in this area. So picture like this awesome bolted wooden door with iron straps on it with a massive ring as a doorknob type of thing. That's what's going to go there. And then over here, it's also big. It's 60 feet by 24 against that wall and 30 against that wall. So the square footage is actually really, really big. Over here this is kind of up in the air what this area is going to be. It's going to be themed the same way, but the usage of the space will probably serve multiple purposes. There's going to be a number of outlets on the walls, that can do whatever you need it to, whether you're plugging in your iPad or phone or a computer, maybe for live streaming, who knows? There's gonna be lots of options here. And back here against this wall, I was looking up some inspiration pics yesterday for how I can theme this part. And I'm thinking one of those massive doors that is held shut with one of those massive beams, and it's kind of like the entrance to the grand hall, only it's a facade wall, but that's what it looks like because it's so big. Because the ceiling itself is about 10 feet. So that would be really cool looking if that existed right here. And then maybe like some sort of like throne chair right here with a couple others, maybe some tables that go out. I plan on making the furniture, making the tables, the sideboards, and everything aesthetic like that, and adding it to it. I think a bunch of shields and weapons and things of that, and the pelts, those banners, all of that along the walls too. Just in addition to all the gaming tables and the look and feel and the aesthetic of the room itself. So let's go downstairs. So this just goes out to the parking lot. This is just right outside of the tournament room. A bunch of parking will go down there and a bunch of parking down there. So just take a peek and see what that is. Yeah, so that van down there, that's part of the parking lot. This is the other end of the building. And this house right here, actually, that's Hunter's house. He's the investor that's enabling us to acquire this building. So he will be there, and that's his home away from home, and it's pretty awesome. All right, on our way downstairs to where the studios are going to be. So this is going to be all torn out. This over here is a large open area that we're dividing into 3 rooms. Room number 1, which is right here, will be the MiniWarGaming gym. So that's where we're going to have our weight rack and our universal machine and our treadmill and all that stuff. It's going to go there. All this old fridge is going to be torn out. Over here, I'm standing what's going to be in, Lee and the painting of miniatures and that part of the business, and that workshop will be here, and then there's Greenleaf Terrain, his studios will go here. So whether it's going to be here or there, we need to still decide on the exact location. It really doesn't make too much of a difference just because the square footage, it's about the same. But it is pretty big. It's about 10 feet by 20 feet. So it's 10 feet wide, 20 feet long. And again, with the sink and airbrush booth, that'll be good to accommodate for work that needs to be done and efficiency of cleaning of materials and brushes. And they will both have that. So that makes both of them very happy. Because right now, for efficiency purposes, it's not quite where it is most efficient. And so that's these 2 areas in there, and then the gym. This little area in here, which Quirk wants as his office, which I don't know if it'll be his office as much as the room where people are punished for misbehaving. I think that's actually good use for the room. Is that a good use for the room? Okay, well, either way you get to be in here, right? But it's actually kind of big, to be honest. Like for all intents and purposes, there could be a desk and a thing and a shelf and chains and things in here. So who knows what this could be used for? Maybe for films. The acoustics kind of suck because it's very echoey, but it's an interesting space nonetheless. This whole large open area will be the studios, 6 to be exact. This is going to be a wall that goes that way, and then there's going to be a door here leading into the studios, or maybe a door here. Either way, this is the start of the studios, a door with key card access into the studio area, and studio number 1, studio number 2, studio number 3, and all the way down until number 6. And where you're walking right now, this is going to be one long, big hallway that goes all the way down to almost the stairs down there. And that's going to have, this hallway will have shelves of our studio miniatures and our terrain pieces all the way down. so that people that are inside the studios can access the models right outside the studios. Instead of how it's set up right now it's kind of in two different areas, and it's a lot of mixed matching and things being put all over the place, and we don't have enough storage space for the stuff that we currently have. Whereas here, we have more than what we need right now, so we're going to grow into it. So that'll be really nice. Things will have a place, things will be labeled, things will be more efficient and organized. And each studio will be themed differently. So, so you're standing in what's going to be Matt's studio, and then my studio will be here, so we'll have studios right beside each other. They're going to be right in the middle of all the studios because the armies that we access are the majority of the studio armies, so it just makes sense for us to be right in the middle. And his will be a Warzone studio, similar to the one that he has right now, only better, because when I built his studio initially, I was just kind of learning how to make studios. So I've had more experience and I've seen more things, and now I can make a much better studio. For example, the durability is going to be such where when you touch it, it's not going to chip away because it's made out of polystyrene. It's going to be made out of more solid materials so that it can be Steve-proofed, which is the now new up-to-code MiniWarGaming studio and what they should be, which is why the studio that he fights in primarily is the Forge, and it's made out of real materials. It's not polystyrene. My studio will be a studio that is dedicated to the 4 gods of chaos as per the poll that you guys suggested. I ran a poll a number of weeks ago asking you guys what we should do for studios. The #1 response was a studio dedicated to the 4 gods of chaos, and so that's why this is going to be the new chaos studio. The one that I originally had intended was going to be my studio, but became the Zone Mortalis because it looked more like a gothic spaceship than it did a chaosified studio. So this is going to be a true chaos studio where all corners, each corner will be dedicated to a different god of chaos. So if you can imagine what that room would look like, it's going to look pretty insane, and it's going to be pretty awesome and organic looking, and growths and spikes and colors and blood, and when you go in there it's going to be like a living nightmare, and it's going to be amazing. I'm excited for it. That might be like the first studio that I make when I start making them. It just might be. I'm a little bit biased, just a little. Am I biased? Yeah. So continuing on this way, the other studios, I want to actually transplant the Orc studio and the Forge studio. The reasons why are because they are my 2 favorite studios, currently MiniWarGaming, and they can be transplanted. And the materials that were used, that would save a lot of money and a lot of labor, cost, and time if the materials were just simply transplanted and reapplied to the work, to the surfaces, to the walls. And they're branded, right? So when you look at a MiniWarGaming Battle Report and you see the Orc studio, you're familiar with it already. So it kind of has its own character and personality. Same with the Forge studio. Similar feeling. I might add embellishments and add to it, but there's certainly going to be things that will be transplanted from there to here and reused. The other 2 studios, I've talked to Miranda, Wargamer Girl, and she is going to help me design one of the studios in addition to the 4, because there's 6 in total. So like the 5th studio is going to be one that is inspired by, designed by, created by Wargamer Girl. And as you can imagine, for you War Machine players, it's going to be a steampunk theme inspired room, whatever that looks like. I imagine a lot of cogs and machinery type of stuff. And the 6th studio, I have talked to a good buddy of mine, Doug, one of the owners at Table War and the creator of the Fat Mats. He's going to be designing the 6th studio because he is an artist. Because one must be an artist if you are the creator of the Fat Mats. It just kind of makes sense, right? So he's going to be helping me design that one. Very exciting. So continuing on this way, there's another wall that's going to continue on here. There's a current wall here, so this stuff will be knocked down but continued on. So wall go here with another door right here with another keycard access into studio area. So this area, employees will have access to. I already talked to a security company to come through and install cameras and install mag cards for keycard access for different areas of the studios and offices. And it's going to be more modern than the current building that we're in right now, because right now it's not very modern. It's actually kind of run down. That's straight up what it is in many places. It's old and it's run down, and the heat works when it wants to, or it's really when, anyway, that's a whole other thing. Here it's going to be brand new HVAC, brand new, like you'll be able to feel comfortable in here and not be cold 2 seasons or hot 2 seasons out of the year. Basically, it's a whole year of discomfort currently. So right here, it's going to be perfect all year round, which is something that I'm very excited for, something that Matt in particular is really excited for, because that's his #1 thing. When we were talking about the studios, I asked him, so what's your input here? What do you care about? What do you care about doing? He's like, the only thing I care about is, can I control the temperature in my studio? Other than that, anything that you do, I'm okay with. So that's pretty good, because those are my strengths, that this is where I shine in this area. He's the numbers guy. He's really good at doing programming and creating reports and figuring out how to grow stuff. This is where I shine. So it's good. It's a good partnership. I'm not complaining. Here, this is going to be the employee cafeteria. So these walls will be knocked down. Over here, this will also be knocked down. It's basically going to go right up to the foundation wall. So it's a big, nice, open space. So we're going to have tables here, chairs around the table, multiple tables. We're going to have vending machines, a fridge, sink. Basically, when you take a break from doing a battle report, you come in here and eat lunch. And the catered food will be brought in here, and it's good. It's going to be able to accommodate for probably enough people that would be staying in the bunker. So if the max capacity is 20 people, which is approximately 20, might be 18 to 22 people, then the same amount of people should be able to eat here. So that's the goal here. Moving on. So back in this area, this is bathroom #1 down here, and bathroom #2. So just showing you this for a second here. This is kind of and everything's going to be redone, everything's going to be torn out, and new stuff is going in. But the size of this bathroom is deceiving, because it's actually going to be closed in a bit. The actual bathroom size might start here, where the wall goes there, and then there's just simply a sink and a toilet in here. And the reason why is because the foundation for the elevator needs to go here, and that's going to take up an indeterminate amount of space right now. We're not sure, but we know that it's going to go here somewhere, and it has to come down a bit. So this bathroom is here. And then bathroom #2 right there. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the start of escape room #1. So let me just get the light here. Might be a bit dark on camera, but get the idea. This is escape room #1. So they will be Warhammer themed, whether they are 40K themed or fantasy themed. One at least will be 40K themed. And whether it's Space Hulk or Necromunda themed, it's going to be something themed 40K. And it's extremely exciting. So this here are the bones of the escape room. What we do in here is, this is just the baseline of what can happen. So everything is foundation wall, so it's not moving, it is staying here. The actual color of everything, like even looking at the look of it, we would have to paint it to make it look like this. So even just the default look and feel and the aesthetic of this place is phenomenal. It's awesome. I've seen escape rooms where they purposefully make it look like this, run down and scary looking. Because even this with the lighting, it's pretty dark in here. I'm not sure what it looks like in the camera, but it's probably so-so. Actual escape rooms, it's even darker. And so your senses they're played with a bit. So continuing on here, I'm just going to pull out a flashlight on my phone just to give you guys a better reference for what we're looking at, because it might be a little bit difficult on camera. But hold on a sec. Okay, there we go. So here, this is a real solid old steel door, which used to be the coal storage room. Let's just go in here. So here you have a iron beam up top, or a steel beam, or whatever. Good sized room in here. Look, you got a couple hooks here. These could be like, I mean, what went on there? Picture like chains on there, and that could be the start of a box which has a clue in it. Maybe some sort of skeleton key that you have to access another area in another part of the escape room. But it's perfect because it's dark and it's scary and it's unknown. You're looking at this, you just don't know what's going to pop out at you and what you're going to find. And it's a good size in an escape room because usually rooms in escape rooms aren't big. We'll definitely have to do a disclaimer because people that are tall, they might hit their head on stuff. We might actually retrofit it or repurpose it to make it so that you can't get a concussion if you hit these things. You might just get a bit of a bruise because right now that's actually solid steel. Yeah, here's the boiler room just to show you. Again, with the doors, like this, really, really cool. It has a chain that is used to open it. On this side of the door, there's a big counterweight, which is really neat. I mean, I've never seen a door like that. Here, I gotta show you because might be able to reuse this somehow. So, I mean, that is just neat, using something like this. I don't know if it can be used, but just the fact that it's here and that gives us ideas. All right, continuing on. So this is where the wall is gonna go. I'm gonna put up a wall here, or a partition, maybe with a door that's locked that you can't access the other area, because the other area is the second escape room. So that is the first escape room. The main area that you come in right there, and this room right here, the second room that you access. The boiler room behind you is probably not going to be accessible just because it's a boiler room and people shouldn't be tinkering around in there. But over here, this is the larger of the two escape rooms. This here is a good sized room for clues and puzzles to be in. And then over here, another steel door. This is the electrical room, which will not be accessed by the escape room, but will be locked, but still cool looking. And then over here, this is the main area that you enter in the second escape room, because this is actually the entrance to the second escape room. And there's a staircase leading up, going up to the top. And then you'll come down the stairs, down here. This is the main room that you enter, and then you'll somehow figure your way into this room, which is a second room. And then you'll somehow manage your way into the other room that you saw, which has the shelves in it. So this room has three. This escape room has 3 rooms. The other escape room has 2 rooms. And let's make our way up the stairs here so you see where we exit. So here we go. This is the store again. So that is where the escape, that'll actually probably be the first escape room because it's accessed from the store. And then the other one will be the second one. But that's the 2 levels that you got here. The store and the offices and the tournament room and the studios and the escape rooms. That's what you got here. So I'm gonna show you the upstairs where the bunkers are gonna be. And right now, currently, we have to access it through the outside because the elevator isn't built yet. So let's take a look at that. So here it is, access from the outside. So should you choose to use the stairs, you can go this way. This whole staircase is going to have to be redone because right now it's pretty treacherous. And here we are. Now, like I said before, there's going to be 6 rooms. Each one will be its own private suite. Some of them will have a combination of bunk beds, and the other ones will have a combination of like queen beds and maybe Murphy beds, cots, or bunk beds. We're going to figure out the configuration of the bedding and how many beds will be in each room. But we will have a really cool template when we're done and the construction is done. The construction will be the same either way, it's just afterwards will be a matter of how many beds we'll be able to fit. But default is there's 4 people that are able to stay per room because there's 2 bunk beds. So this one right here, for example, this would be, one is right here and another one is right there. So that's 4 people in this room. So if there's a group of guys that come down and they are a gaming group, they're a bunch of buddies, they can share the cost of a room, right, to stay here. Especially if there's other groups staying at the same time, then that's probably the best case scenario. And then each suite has its own bathroom. We did a lot of juggling back and forth for what that could be. For, if there was one large room with like 10 bunks in it, and there's a common bathroom, or this actually ended up being the best, most efficient use of space and people that could fit and bathrooms that were here to accommodate people. So 6 bathrooms in total, and each suite has its own bathroom, so basically 4 people per bathroom. That's basically what it runs down to at a maximum, because the other ones which will have less people in it, it's like 3 people to a bathroom, which isn't too bad. And then here is another one of the rooms. The flooring right now is like everything up here is basically going to be gutted. So brand new windows, brand new floors and walls and trim, new lighting installed. And on top of the bones of the walls will be the aesthetics of the rooms, because they will be themed like the studios. And currently, the ideas that I have for the themed bunker rooms are an orc themed room, 40K orc themed room, and a fantasy room. So that's 2 of the 6. So I'm certainly open to more ideas right now. They are not set in stone. The construction has not started yet. I've also run a poll on Facebook, in the MiniWarGaming Facebook group. I've run a poll on there. So if you're on there, jump on there and add your opinion, add your vote. If you're not a member of the group, then I invite you to join that group. I'm a little bit out of breath right now, just walking around talking so much. But yeah, join that group so that you can add your vote, cast your vote, give your opinion, and leave a comment for what other themed rooms we should include up here. So just continuing on this way, just to show you the size of the area. There won't be any kitchens or anything like that here. It's just strictly rooms, strictly bedrooms with the bunks and bathrooms. The only thing that will be different up here is an elevator that goes from the hallway, which is going to be about here, where this thing is. Because this old stack, which comes out, is redundant, so it's going to be torn out. And then the elevator will go here, and it'll be a mini hallway that connects into the main hallway. And then what you're standing in right now is another bunker room and another bathroom, which will go in there. And then down this way, same thing, another bunk room, another bathroom. And right now, I plan on making the bunks. I plan on constructing the bunks myself. So what I want to do with them, because there aren't any closets, well, there are in some rooms, but there aren't in every room. And some of the ones that are in some rooms, I want to take them out just for efficiency purposes. What I want to do is I want to extend the bunks and actually make a closet at the end of each bunk and have trundles underneath the beds, which can accommodate for storage and luggage and so forth, just to maximize the amount of space. Because you build out a closet, and that, I mean, that's one closet for a room of 4 people, right? Whereas if you have 2 closets in the room, because there's one at the end of each bunk, that just adds more space and more efficiency of storage. So going through here, here's another room. It's kind of a false idea of what it's going to be, because we're just going to gut everything anyway. So the idea is that 6 rooms, 6 suites, like bathroom, like this bath, the whole thing's gonna be torn out. New bathroom's gonna be put wherever it's gonna be. It's gonna end up where it's gonna end up. And then up here, this is one of the bigger suites. There's gonna be a hallway that actually extends through here. So a wall is gonna go up here. This whole wall section will come out because the hallway is down this way. And then a door is going to be installed here that goes outside onto the roof. And eventually what we're going to do is have a patio area that goes out there with, it's going to be fenced in. And then we can have, well, we can have parties out there. Who knows, right? And it could also be a potential room for expansion in the future. If we wanted to have more bunks or more tournament rooms or more whatever, we have the space to expand because we have all this extra footprint for us to build on top of. And it is solid. We did a lot of inspections for this building, a crazy amount of inspections I didn't even know existed before. Environmental inspections, fire retrofit inspections, the actual building inspections. And it's good. The bones are awesome. There's no surprises with this building. We found out there was a book, a 300-page book written about everything about this building. So in detail, in chemical detail, what we got with this purchase. It's pretty awesome. And then this is the last of the rooms. As I said before, it currently has these closets which, I mean, they could be kept. It's not the end of the world because a bunk could go there and a bunk could go there, right? But there does need to be a room or a door that's cut through here because the bathroom for this suite will go down that way. And that's the end of the bunkers. So continuing on back outside. And coming around to the side, we're just exiting through the front, and this is now the other side of the building. This whole alleyway is ours, so we get to do whatever we want in it. There's nothing really that we can do, but the space is ours. This is another entrance to the store. Cameras, security cameras will be installed along here, so we'll be able to see everything that goes on. And lights as well. And it goes down. I don't know if you can notice that on the camera, but it steps down. And then this here is another entrance to the studios. So if for some reason you want to go out onto the street and you want to go this way, you can. It's just right here. So if you want to grab a slice of pizza at lunchtime from this pizza place down the street, then you can. It's right down there. And that's it. That is the new MiniWarGaming bunker. What you see is what you get here, except for in the Shrine of Chaos, obviously, because Mark and Dave is in there. But this is the new building. This is what it looks like. It is on this street, which is in the heart of Welland. This is downtown Welland. And if you're here and you're visiting and you're a guest at MiniWarGaming, there's a lot of stuff to do that's walking distance on this street. Like I was saying, there's a pizza place, there's a bunch of taverns, there's a good restaurant on this side of the bridge, there's cafes. And so lots of things to do and eat at nighttime. Niagara Falls is actually pretty close. It's about 20 minutes from here. So if you wanted to do that as well. If you're coming with a loved one and you're not traveling alone, or you're with your spouse or partner, then they have things to do during the day as well, should they not have enough to do at the MiniWarGaming bunker. And the MiniWarGaming bunker is the name for, yes, the suites up top, but that's actually the name for the entire thing. So if we say come to the MiniWarGaming bunker, what we're actually saying is come to MiniWarGaming, because the whole thing is called the bunker. So just on a last note here, talk to you about signage, because this is what I have envisioned in my mind for the signage. The front here, all this stucco is going to come down. These signs will come down. There's going to be one sign that goes up right in the middle, approximately 3 feet by 8 feet, and that'll be Max Aggression Gaming. That's going to be the store that goes up there, the sign that goes up there for the storefront. There's going to be a MiniWarGaming dice cube that goes in the middle and the very top. So if you can picture that right there, just so from a distance you can see and you can tell, that it's a MiniWarGaming building. This door right here will be filled in because that's going to be more store space. That wall's coming down, so this whole thing will be blocked off and filled in. I'm going to get some vinyl decal sticker signs that go on the doors, the kind that you can see that are opaque when you look in, but when you're inside looking out, you can see through them. You can see onto the street. So there's a two-way thing, which is kind of cool, and it's full color, full high-res detail graphics, so we can figure out what to put on there. Same thing with the window. I'm thinking that's the best case scenario for that, so that there aren't a whole bunch of like creepers just kind of standing and looking into the store. And over here as well, there's going to be a big thing on the door, thing up top saying that this is the entrance to the bunker suites. So that'll be obvious for when you arrive here at MiniWarGaming. So when you're a guest and you arrive at the new bunker, you'll most likely come from that direction because that's where the highway is, and then you come down Main Street, and then you'll come down King Street because this is King Street right here. And then you'll turn left into the driveway, which is going to be repaved. This will be, right now it's just gravel, so it's going to be repaved. And when you're coming from this direction and you see that side of the building right there, I'm getting a big sign made. It's like a billboard. It's going to have the MiniWarGaming dice cube close to the right, so you'll be able to see it from a distance. And then you'll have myself and Matt, and we'll kind of be like climbing on the cube, and then you'll have the rest of the team like beside us going down. So that's it right there. If you can picture that, just like right there, it's like 10 by 12 feet big up there. Okay. And then there's another sign. It's going to say MiniWarGaming Studio Parking with an arrow pointed that way. Also Max Aggression Gaming Parking, right? There's going to be parking signs all along there. We counted out 19 parking spots. There's 11 going down this way if you park diagonally, and it's a one-way parking way. Travel out that way, and then a bunch more spots down the side of the fence. So coming this way, as per code, we need to install another entrance on the side of this, on this side of the building, on this side. And that entrance is going to go right here in between these two windows. So right here, if you can picture that, it's a long ramp. So if you need handicap access, if you're in a wheelchair, you can come up. By the way, everything is going to be handicap accessible. So if that is something that is a need that you have, we will be able to accommodate that, because we want all gamers to come and for there to be no excuse for you to throw down on the battlefield. That's really what it comes down to. So here, the entrance is going to go there, and there's going to be a big sign up top that says MiniWarGaming Studios. So when you come and park and you see the sign here at the side of the building with the entrance, it's going to be obvious where you go when you come in. Because currently at MiniWarGaming, and for guests that have come to MiniWarGaming, you might be able to attest to this, it's not exactly obvious where you need to go. It's a little more obvious now because I recently had signs put in the last 4 months. But before that, it was like, okay, where do I go? Or the front door? Oh, the front door's locked. Okay, it's the right address. Maybe I'll go to the back, and then kind of wander in, and then it's just a matter of finding it. But now it'll be really intuitive and really obvious where it is, because the whole building is ours, and we are able to dictate what goes where. And the first thing when you come in and you arrive, you'll see the sign, you'll come right in, and that's the entrance to here. And then down there, which you saw just a few minutes ago when we came out of there to show you the parking lot, that's going to be the entrance to the employee entrance, and also Greenleaf Terrain entrance will be down there as well, because the studio is going to be close. And that's basically it. I'm thinking for the aesthetics of the exterior, it's going to be kind of like, I want it to look like a fortress. So I want it to be like strips of riveted bolts and dark silver and charcoal and blacks. That'll be like the base color of the entire thing. And then any sign that is on the building will just really pop when it comes out. Because right now it's this concrete gray color and brick. It blends into the rest of the buildings on the street, which is exactly what we don't want it to do. We want it to stick out from everything. And so A, having it a solid color, and B, having those signs pop on the building, it's going to make it stick out even more. And one last thing, the cherry on top, this is what I'm going to mention, because this is something that I've talked to the city of, the mayor, Frank Campion, he's the mayor of Welland now. I talked to him about this, and we're looking into doing this, because this would just be amazing if this is something we could do. Picture on top of the roof, having a MiniWarGaming die cube that's 3D and lit up and big, like 8 feet by 8 feet or 10 by 10 or something like that, something ridiculous. And it's up there and it's lit up and it's rotating. I think that would be really cool, because if it's lit up at night, when you come from a distance, you'll be able to see, it'd be obvious, right? Heck, they have Niagara Falls, which is 20 minutes away, and their bylaws allow for cool signage like that. Heck, they have a building that's upside down. They have like a car coming out of the side of one of their buildings. Like, they have cool stuff like this, right? So something like that doesn't sound like it's too much to ask, having something like that as an attraction here in Welland to have. So that's my dream, is to have that up there so that it's obvious. No matter what direction you come from, you'll be able to see it from a distance, and it'll be lit up at nighttime. And heck, even on like a Google Earth or Street View, you can zoom in and look at it and see it, which would be really neat too, because you'll be able to see it from that point of view. So this is it. This is the very first vlog video for the MiniWarGaming Bunker. Stay tuned for many, many more updates, because once this gets started, and once I get started on the construction of the aesthetics of the studios, I will be taking a break from making battle reports and campaign videos and doing the regular videos that I make at MiniWarGaming, and I'll be focusing on this and the construction of this. But my connection and tie to the community will be through these vlogs, and I will be updating you every step of the way. Every single studio that I work on, I'll be updating you on, and all the bunker rooms and and the tournament rooms, like everything. I'll give you all the details. So you'll have this nice, good, long, detailed, juicy series to really sink your teeth into and enjoy before we open it up for business, before we get occupancy and have people in here and stay in the bunkers and book for those events and tournaments and everything that goes with this new and awesome place. So thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and happy wargaming.